Hey guys, Adam here from EisforEV, and we've put some reservations down. It's time to have a talk. We're starting the shindig over again. I'm ready for the future. I mean ready. My household has 3 vehicles, and I want to convert them all to EV. I'll need 3 types of vehicles to do that: a truck, an SUV, and something efficient for daily driving. I've laid my money down and, well, I'm waiting because they're not coming right away. So they're investments? I'll save the EV investing for another video, but they are currently something and they go somewhere. So where do these investments go? Is it a wallet? No, that alludes to it being a liquid asset. How about a bank? Still the same problem, but it could be a portfolio. I can get it back, it may increase or decrease in value, and it might take some time to access it in liquid form. So now the name game's over. Let me tell you about my portfolio of EV reservations. I'll discuss my chances of getting each one, how much range they have, how much they cost, my reason for choosing each one, and whether you should follow suit and reserve one yourself. Let's go through them. First off, let's go with pretty much a sure bet, and that one is the truck. About 1 million Americans have laid down their $100, which is an insurmountable investment. I'm just kidding, but $100 refundable for a Tesla Cybertruck. I was among the first 8,000 to get in, which is top 1%. I reserved mine during the unveil. So that's really exciting. Let's talk about my chances of getting it. Even though I got in early, my chances of getting it early aren't that great. See, I live in West Virginia, and where you live can really change whether or not you get your vehicle delivered at a certain time when it comes to Tesla. And West Virginia just happens to be 47th through 50th on every list of everything good in America. So where I live, West Virginia, is definitely strike one. Also, I knew a whole lot less about how Tesla worked when I reserved my Cybertruck, which means I reserved the cheap single motor version, and we all know how that's gone with the Model Y. More specifically, there isn't one. And if we do get one, it won't be until much later in the production process. So when I can modify my reservation, which won't be right away, but will be when Tesla decides to start building them, I will switch to a dual motor, all-wheel drive, kind of the mid-range Cybertruck with full self-driving. A much larger commitment, but a much higher likelihood that it will arrive. So, West Virginia, strike one. Single motor reservation, strike two. Will I be able to hit a home run on an O2 count? My fingers are crossed. The Cybertruck costs $100 down and $39,000 to start, but like I said, that likelihood is low, at least early, and can go all the way up to $79,000 if you spec out a tri-motor Cybertruck with full self-driving. 0 to 60 under 3 seconds. The range goes from 250 miles on the single motor to right around 500 miles, give or take, on the tri-motor version. The reason I reserved my Cybertruck is because of the reputation Tesla has in the EV space and the value for the money. I believe the Cybertruck will actually get delivered to market, and it will be the most affordable way to get a truck that's electric before 2025. There's also the supercharger network and a host of other things too. The highlights of the Tesla Cybertruck are an electronically closing bed, an optional ATV, brand new battery technology, stainless steel construction, which means no paint, no rust, 6-passenger seating, optional solar panel, and totally polarizing styling. Now, should you pull the trigger on a new Cybertruck by putting your $100 down? At this point, I'd say no. And here's why. If you haven't put a deposit down at this point, don't waste your time. There are too many folks ahead of you. Like 5 years demand ahead of you. Like 1 million people ahead of you. If you've got to have the truck form factor, check out Rivian or Ford. Keep an eye on their websites and see what other ones might pop up. I guess you could also go for GM, but I don't know how many people are actually going to get that Hummer EV. My guess is very few. Fight me in the comments. My next pick to replace one of my household fleet vehicles is the SUV, and I'll need one kind of for everyday going around. It's made by a company that has delivered a car to market. Well, sort of. But that is something, right? Most EV companies haven't delivered anything to market. Okay, no more stalling. It's the Fisker Ocean, and it's a midsize SUV coming around 2022. Large asterisk on 2022. What are my chances of getting it? I'd say moderate. Billionaire Heinrich Fisker has made a car before, but he sold that company and the car it makes, but not the name. He also helped design the Model S as well as the BMW, I believe, Z8. So he does have experience in the automotive industry. Experience, yes, but not under this current corporate structure, which involves his wife, actually, as an executive. There's a bunch of videos that tell the long version of that story. I'll link some down below. They've rung the bell on Wall Street and boasted that the Fisker Ocean will be the most sustainable vehicle ever made. But can you deliver it in volume and with the timeline you advertised? We'll have to see. Also, we need to talk about the cost, which is $30,000 as a base price after the federal tax credit, so $37,500. And can you deliver that with any kind of vehicle at all? If I had to guess, when you spec this thing out, you're going to be a lot closer to $50,000. Reservation volume is somewhere around 10,000. Not bad, but is that enough volume to justify production? Range will be 250 to 300 miles, and the reservation cost is $250. I've got a whole video on the reservation process. You can watch that. Link in the description. My reasons for reservation? Pretty simple. A $30,000 electric SUV? Yes, please. And from a company that's made a car before, which is surprisingly few, yes, please. It's good looking and it could potentially exist. Emphasis on potentially. Fingers really crossed on that one. The highlights include an 80 kilowatt hour battery, 20 or 22-inch wheels, a solar roof, vegan interior, including fully recycled carpeting made from recycled t-shirts and rubber tire waste, a very enticing Flexee Lease Program starting at $379 monthly with just $3,000 down, a Force E fortified off-road version. Don't look for that one in 2022. Plenty of colors, plenty of specs and packages and configuration options, all coming in 2021. A cool thing called California mode, which from what I can tell just lowers all the windows at the same time. CCS Charging and a Q4 2022 launch, which is fairly early for the EV market. The company that will manufacture the Ocean is Magna in Europe. So should you pull the trigger on a Fisker Ocean? Maybe. The cost to reserve is higher than any other EV builders, and there's not a ton of evidence that the car will make it to market. But 10,000 reservations have been made, and they're a public company, and about 1 million shares change hands per day. Fisker's original vehicle, the Karma, which is now Karma, a Chinese company, happened in 2007 and was not much of a success. But Heinrich is very successful as an automotive designer. If you do decide to reserve an Ocean, make sure you check out the video. Once again, link in the description. And now for the daily driver, which would replace, well, really just my daily car, which is a Honda Clarity plug-in hybrid. I also have no problem keeping this car because it already does have a plug and does most of its driving on electricity anyway. And for that reason, I went with a moonshot. That's right. I put my money down on an Aptera. It is the most ambitious on this short list of 3 that I've reserved. But hey, if you're going to do it big, right? What are the chances of me getting my Aptera? I'd have to say low. Aptera went through a whole thing, and I mean a whole thing. I'll link some of those stories in the description as well. Full circle, no vehicle, but they did end up on Jay Leno. I guess that's something. And they did build a couple prototypes, but no production car. I'll give them an asterisk next to low because they are fully funded based on their fundraising campaign, which was not stock. It is a commitment for future ownership of stock, and you can't get in on that right now. But with 1,000 miles of potential range and a fully solar body claiming to get anywhere from 15 to 40 miles of electric charge every day, sign me up for $100. Well, actually 200 because I signed up as a guest for my initial reservation, which did not merit me a referral code. So I reserved a second Aptera after I'd created my account. Referral code in the description. This one is a $25,000 3-wheel motorcycle to start and a 1,000-mile range mammoth undertaking at maximum for about $50,000. The site says the predetermined orders are sold out. I'm sure those were saved for the initial investors, but you can spec one out and give them $100. If I had to guess, they've got about 15,000 reserved. So there is some excitement about the Aptera. Also, if you use my referral code in the description, you'll save $30 and you can brag that you reserved one for 70 instead of 100. But it's the most eccentric vehicle I've ever seen. And the efficiency as well as what they're going for is just right up my alley. And I would love to daily an Aptera. There's even been some rumors that it'll use the Tesla supercharger network because it looks like the connector in the video is a Tesla charger. Now don't hold me to that because there's no evidence that's true, no matter what a YouTuber might tell you. Also, if you reserve 26 of those, your Aptera is free, which for me is really just a way of saying they're not really going to build this thing, but they'd like your $100. I really hope I'm wrong. They say they're going to start building it in 2021. Fingers super crossed for that. I don't think they'll ramp up till at least 2023. As far as cost, $100 to reserve, $25,000, $6,000, up to around $45,000, $50,000, depending on how you spec it out. The range starts at 250 miles and goes all the way up to 1,000 miles of range on a single charge with a 100 kilowatt hour battery. How do you get a 100 kilowatt hour battery in an Aptera? I can't wait to find that out. Why did I reserve one? Well, efficiency, cost, and styling. It sticks out like a sore thumb in the best way possible. It's cheap at $25,000, and you can't beat that drag coefficient, at least not with any other production vehicle currently available. You've seen it, right? Yeah, okay. The highlights, it's under 2,000 pounds. There's a solar roof, solar hood, solar rear end. It can provide 15 to 40 miles of range each day. It's a two-seater. Delivery comes early in 2021. Like I said, don't count on that. One of the co-founders is also the CEO of a petroleum company. I don't know if that's a good thing. He's a successful guy, but also has interest in big oil. Their WeFunder investment has been completely funded at around $40 million valuation. The company's very small, and that's about all we know right now. So, should you pull the trigger? Well, better than a night of gambling. Also better than buying Nikola stock, but do your own research. So I say sure, vote with your wallet and put sustainability in your future. Just don't expect Tesla returns. They've secured funding and they've been around for a decade, so you'll probably get your $100 back worst case. But man, what if? What if they build it? You don't want to miss out on that, a $25,000 airplane on wheels. Definitely support the channel. Check out my referral code for the Aptera in the description below. I really appreciate it. It would be great if we could jump on this moonshot together. My portfolio contains a sure bet with almost too much demand, a cheap, stylish, and sustainable, yet unlikely low-cost leader, and a super efficient, hyper-ambitious moonshot on 3 wheels. Do you want to gamble with the next thing in EVs? Do like I did. Diversify your portfolio. You never know what you're going to get. Good luck, happy motoring, and we'll see you in the next video.